welcome to the SVG-TV news for Friday, March 31st. With your details tonight, I'm Khalil Kato. The 2023 National Housing and Population Census was launched here today at the NIS Conference Room. This statistical office within the Ministry of Finance, Economic Planning and Information Technology is responsible for the coordination and implementation of the Housing and Population Census, which will be carried out at a total cost of 4 million EC dollars, with the majority of the funds coming from the World Bank. Addressing the launching ceremony, Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Information Technology Camilo Gonzalez stressed the importance of the census, which he said will provide data for decision-making, noting that a census document is not just for policymakers, as it contains a wealth of information for other entities and will guide society and decisions at multiple levels.
Now, we recognize that data is essential for decision-making and policy-making and profit-making if you're a private sector entity in a modern society. You need data. You need to base your decisions more on data than on hearsay and she-say and gut feelings. But the data has to be good. The data has to be of good quality. The data has to be reliable, so that when you make those decisions, you're making those decisions based on quality data, professionally gathered, professionally analyzed. It is critical, therefore, that the government invests further in our decision-making apparatus. And that is why we went to the World Bank to get this $6 million US for this project called Data for Decision-Making. And we have in the Data for Decision-Making project, we have strengthening for our statistical office. We have money for other analyses. We have labor force surveys, which we'll talk about, which will go into detail about the workers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the labor force. We have a survey of living conditions, which will go into depth about how people live in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and the nature of both poverty and wealth in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We're going to have additional projects about agriculture, agricultural censuses, to talk about who is growing what and where, and how much money they're making from what they're growing, and how much livestock farmers have, and how many eggs the poultry farmers are producing, and where they're selling, and all of this information, which also adds to the wealth of information that we can use for policy making. But the centerpiece of all of the projects we're doing under this Data for Decision-Making project is the census.
Pointing out that the census is the only statistical document mentioned in the Constitution, Minister Gonzalez said the census data is important to everything that is being done or examined in society today.
What is the ethnic background of people? Whether or not they have migrated to or from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. What are their religions? The census data on religion is very interesting, because it sees some religions going like this over the years and others going like that. And it speaks to a change in the social makeup of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It talks about levels of education. And that also has very important information if you look at censuses past, up to 2012. How many people didn't finish primary school? How many people got as far as secondary school? How many people have O-levels and A-levels and college degrees? And in each subset, how many of those are working? Because that's important information to know. Is it now that you require to get a good job in St. Vincent and the Grenadines 5 subjects? An associate's degree, a university degree? This is information that the census can tell you. It can tell you about the type of house that people live in. Is a wall house, a stone house, a watland dab house, a board house, a galvanized shack, whatever the case may be. This is all information that is available in the census. Who has diabetes, who has asthma, who has arthritis, who has hypertension. All of these things drive policy in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. There are questions about marital status, How strong is marriage as an institution in St. Vincent and the Grenadines among different age groups? And what does that mean socially? And the number of people who live in a household, the number of people who live in a household where there is no parent. What does that mean for other achievements? What does that mean for poverty? What does that mean for crime? What does that mean for urban versus rural? What does that mean for types of jobs? All of these things can be connected once we collect the data.
Minister Gonzalez also pointed out that while the process of collecting data, that should be collecting the census data, is critical, what is also of critical importance is the analysis of the data.
And that is why the Data for Decision Making project is not just about buying iPads and pretty shirts for people, but it is also about strengthening the analytical capacity of Mrs. Williams and her team, so that when they have analyzed the data and presented it to us, we will understand what it means about this point in time in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And because we do these censuses roughly every 10 years, we'll be able to ascertain trends. And those trends inform how the government allocates its resources. But it's more than that. There are many ways in which we allocate the resources. We understand where we have to put learning resource centers, where we have to put schools, where we have to put clinics, where we have to invest money, your road money. When we find out how many people have automobiles in particular areas versus other areas, the extent to which farming remains an economic driver. How many farmers do we have? This is information when we had the volcano, when we had the eruption, we had to rely on census data from the 2012 census and then additional things to try to augment it. But once we have this new data point, it will give us a newer, fresher picture of where we are in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and our development. It is absolutely critical that everybody participate. The work being done by the enumerators is going to shape development in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for years to come. Very, very important information. It has implications for almost everything that the government does. And increasingly, modern businesses utilize the census to see where opportunities exist for them.
Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonzalez also encouraged everyone to participate in the census, noting that the information collected will help in a number of developmental areas.
When the persons come around to get the information for us to know, to have reliably what is happening, we need to know all sorts of things. We need to know reasonably how many people working, how many people not working, what are the ages of those who are not working, how we must direct attention to particular areas, which particular communities have advanced, using the data with improvements in the level of indigence and poverty, how is the housing situation. You know, we have an idea because we live in St. Vincent and Grenadines, and we're not on Mars, and we can see. And science begins and ends with observation. We can study it, but you need to know precisely. I know when these questions come, you're busy, you have to clean, you have to cook, you got to take care of your grandchild, you got to take care of the little one who just dropped off from school. Yes, but we have to work together. A society which consists only of individuals doing their own thing and not having solidarity with one another, such a society is not sustainable.
PM Gonzalez said the National Housing and Population Census has his full support, and there are many practical benefits for the entire country from the information to be gathered.
Help the census taker. Help them to do their job. to get the information necessary and desirable for improvement in our lives, our living, and our production. And if that is the only thing that I say today, which you listen to, and it's the only thing that I want you to listen to, because the amount of money it costs, you have heard that already. It's the advertisement. I see you have your jingles. I see CP has his song. You know, Tajo involved. We have a good communication network and the basis for us to get this excited, get excitement on this. So please, you're listening to me out there. I'm not worried about the technical aspect, because the professionals are going to do their work and they're going to double check, and we're going to have quality controls and all. We've been through this before, the census. A big problem, very big problem, is to get people to take the time to answer the questions and to answer them truthfully, to answer them honestly, not to just get you out. Now, I know that it's going to help doing it electronically, but at the same time, Sister Williams, some people ain't going to bother with it on the computer, so you'll have to go through with them, you know, one by one. So it's going to be, I think you're going to end up doing it in a hybrid kind of fashion, I suspect. You know, I'm being practical now, and we have to be prepared for that, but undoubtedly, the fact that you have this additional dimension is going to make it easier.
As part of the advocacy thrust and to bring awareness to the census, a logo competition was held, attracting 47 submissions, from which 5 were shortlisted, with Kenroy Dyer being selected as the winner of the competition. The concept of the logo was outlined at today's launch.
The 2 curved lines at the top symbolize the roof of a house, while the 3 diamonds in the national colors are used to represent the patriotism and willingness of the Vincentians to participate in the census. We thank you, Mr. Dyer.
The census jingle, which will be used for the census, was done by veteran Calypsonian Carlton C.P. Hall, and the census song by Maxwell Tajo Francis.
Census 2023, they're counting you, they're counting me, must be united. Attention Vincentians, the 2023 population and housing census is on. They're counting you, they're counting me.
It's the 2023 census, get counted today. Welcome the enumerators. Don't chase them away. Be truthful with information about your family. Your information is vital to plan for the whole country. Your age, your sex, occupation, and your qualification. Employment status are some of the questions to get your information.
Census Day is set for June 15th under the slogan, Census 2023, they're counting you, they're counting me. The information will benefit the whole country. The last housing and population census took place in 2012. Fisherfolk in St. Vincent and the Grenadines are benefiting from training designed to enhance the capacity of micro, small, and medium-sized business and medium-sized enterprises, MSMEs, in the fishery sector to improve their ability to access financing for their businesses. This series of activities forms part of an initiative implemented collaboratively by the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry, Fisheries, Rural Transformation, Industry and Labor, the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations, the FAO, and the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, AICA, with AICA as the implementing agency for the initiative on behalf of the FAO. Through the initiative, a workshop for fisheries sector stakeholders was held on February 23rd and 22nd, addressing business plan development for small business operations. The workshop was designed to provide participants with knowledge on the fundamental requirements for the development of business proposals that could be used as tools to unlock financial opportunities, either through grants or loans, and provides the business proposition for the successful operation of the enterprise. The training activity was conducted by Dougal James, local consultant to the project. Fisherfolk represented at the training activity included representatives of the several fisherfolk cooperatives and businesses from across the country, including the National Fisherfolk Organization, Barley Fisheries Development Cooperative Society, Goodwill Fisherfolk Cooperative, and several fishing processing operations. In addition to the training, one of the fisherfolk organizations will be supported by the project with the development of a full business plan for their organization to help support their efforts to enhance commercial opportunities for their membership. According to Michael Dalton, technical specialist of the IECA delegation in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the initiative is part of a multi-country collaboration that IECA has with the FAO, titled Services to Support Capacity Building for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises in Barbados, Grenada and SVG. He said the objective of the initiative is to build capacity among stakeholders in the fisheries sector to improve their capacity to access financing. Keith Flatt, a Blue Economy consultant for the FAO, who is overseeing the MSME capacity building project, said, quote, "Such training is vital for the fishing communities to build their understanding of how grant proposals are written and projects are funded." The capacity initiative is said to have come at an opportune time to support the wider efforts of the state, as the government recently launched an initiative with the Kingstown Cooperative Credit Union, KCCU, to help fishers secure affordable loans to purchase new boats as part of the fleet expansion drive as demand for seafood rises. The opposition New Democratic Party is congratulating Member of Parliament for East Kingstown, Dwight Fitz-Bramble, the party's caretaker for North Central Windward, Chieftain Neptune, and Public Relations Officer Laverne King, and also its women's arm PRO Chelsea Alexander on being awarded the Professional Development Certificate in Parliamentary Governance from the McGill University School of Continuing Studies in Canada. The year-long program covered courses in parliamentary procedure and committees, women's participation in politics, and communications to advance governance techniques. As part of the program, the participants spent a considerable amount of time researching parliamentary best practices and sharing and discussing with other Commonwealth parliamentarians how to better serve their respective nations. The program was sponsored by the Caribbean Democrat Union, the CDU. Other participants included representatives from political parties in Jamaica, St. Lucia, the Turks and Caicos, and Belize. Bramble, Neptune, King, and Alexander joined Senators Israel Bruce, Chevron John, and former Senator Sherlan Zita Bardwell as the third cohort of NDP representatives to have successfully completed the program. A news release from the party said President Dr. Godwin Friday congratulated the participants and reiterated his commitment to ensuring the professional development of the party members so that they can better serve the country. The Center for Enterprise Development Incorporated, the CED, is executing the Resilience Through Innovation and Technology RIT MSME Recovery Program under the Organization of American States OAS Development Corporation Fund, DCF. The project is being implemented as part of the OAS DCF's 2021-2024 project cycle under the theme Retooling MSMEs Through Innovation and Technology. The CED said the objective of the project is to help micro, small, and medium enterprises achieve economic recovery and sustainable development by promoting change in strategies and business practices through technology and innovation. Under the project, the CED will execute a series of activities, one of which is a technology fair, which will focus on promoting digital solutions to micro, small, and medium enterprises. The technology fair, which took the form of an exhibition, was held today at the car park outside the SVG Postal Corporation in Capital Kingstown.
Good day. So my name is Afia James Clark and I am here representing the Center for Enterprise Development Inc. Today we are having our technology fair as part of our Resilience Through Innovation and Technology MSME Recovery Program. And this is being funded by the Organization of American States through its Development Cooperation Fund in the 2021-2024 project cycle. So what we're trying to promote is for businesses to make some innovations and to just try to modify the way they conduct their business. And we are really pushing for digital transformation, we're pushing for digitization and digitalization. So that's why we're having the tech fair today. Under the Resilience Through Innovation and Technology MSME Recovery Program, we offer quite a number number of trainings, including design thinking to develop a business, digital transformation for micro, small and medium enterprises, and also financial literacy for micro, small and medium enterprises. So the tech fair is just one component of it. Now CED offers quite a range of services. As I've said, we do trainings, we also do capacity building, we offer business consultancy and advising, which is free of charge, and we also have certain paid services such as business plan writing and business proposals. And I just want to inform the public that we have relocated, so we are currently on the ground floor of the Cooperative League building. So in terms of the trainings, we are trying to target persons, micro, small and medium enterprises. We're trying to target persons who are in the developmental stage of the business, but also those who have established businesses and would like to enhance their capacity. So we are open to any sector as long as you're a micro, small or medium enterprise. We want you to come and take advantage of these trainings that we're offering. I said, if you're in the idea phase, we welcome you. You don't have to be established, so you can be in the idea phase. You maybe don't even have an idea as yet, but you know that you want to get involved in business, because we really need to push multiple streams of income. So even if you're employed, you can think about what skill sets you have that you can turn around into a business, whether you're offering a product or a service. So we want you to come and get on board, participate in our trainings.
FAM for Endometriosis wrapped up Endometriosis Awareness Month with the handing over of care packages to the female patients at the Mental Health Rehabilitation Center yesterday. FAM for Endometriosis is an organization that supports people, particularly women, who suffer with endometriosis and other reproductive health issues. Founder of the organization, Nika Anderson Isaacs, said because they care, they feel the need to provide the care packages to the female patients at the center. Anderson Isaacs noted that women with mental health related issues are affected with endometriosis and other female reproductive health issues. Hence, they need the support and to be included in the conversation on endometriosis and reproductive health. She also thanked the various sponsors and supporters for making the donation possible. The Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment will host a health fair on April 5th at Heritage Square to enlighten members of the public about their health and to commemorate World Health Day. Psychiatric nurse practitioner Kayashma Charles, Chief Laboratory Technologist Elliot Samuel, and pharmacist Desiree Guy highlighted the upcoming fair during an appearance on NBC Radio's Face-to-Face program talking about health-related matters. On the issue of mental health, Kayashma Charles said a number of persons suffering with mental health lack support, including from their own family, and persons need to be more supportive of each other.
Persons are not aware of the signs and symptoms of mental illness. For example, persons, they stop sleeping well, the appetite have changed, there's a rapid cycling when it comes to behavior, they become withdrawn and so on. So just be mindful, even to you yourself. Practice tips such as sleeping for at least 8 hours. We all don't require an 8 hours sleep, but you know, practice sleeping for 8 hours. A well-balanced, nutritious meal, listen to music to help reduce stress, even exercise at least for 10 minutes, you know. Talk to each other, find out what's going on with each other, you know, and try not to be judgmental, because when you're judgmental, persons tend to pull away, keep things to themselves. And we see the rate of suicide, depression and so on is going up, so we need persons to be able to communicate.
Pharmacist Desiree Guy used the opportunity to encourage persons who are suffering from various ailments to take the full medication treatment as prescribed by their physician or pharmacist.
Specifically in the case of the antibiotics, we advise our patients the repercussion of not taking the duration that is recommended by the physicians. The outcome of this can give rise to what we call resistance, antimicrobial resistance. And that's something we've been working against for a long time. Worldwide, we know the repercussion of that. Once you have resistance, it's harder to treat above, and it presents greater challenge to care for a client. I would recommend to the patients, if the treatment is for 7 days, kindly comply with the advice from the physician.
World Health Day 2023 will be observed under the theme Health for All, Strengthening Primary Health Care to Build Resilient Systems. On April 7th, World Health Day, the World Health Organization will observe its 75th anniversary and will be tying its celebration to World Health Day 2023.